First of all, thanks for having me, Dave and Lane. We got Dave and Lane here, or David and Lane, and we're gonna.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
No problem. I love this. Other than the technology side, obviously, but I'm going to learn as we go along. So, real quick, it looks like people are chatting already, letting us know where they're from. Just keep letting us know. We like to hear that. It gives us a chance to get people in the room, which is obviously what we want. It looks like we're already up to 82. That sounds good. But we're going to have a good time today. We're going to learn a bunch, right?
Yeah, we got people from Florida, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Colorado, New York, Ohio, Illinois. I mean, people from all over the country. How awesome! Thank you guys all for joining us.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. People are gonna learn a lot. Sorry, when I switched out and come back in, I've got to upload our slides again.
Well, guys, the main thing we're going to talk about today is how to safely buy an RV. And one thing I want to throw out real quick, Dave, is a lot of people always ask in these webinars, why do you guys go over this stuff? Why do you care? Simple. We always tell people in a normal year there's going to be 350 to 400,000 RVs sold. This year, it's gone crazy after our friend Corona showed up. We're probably looking. It sounds nicer when I call it my friend because I'm quite tired of it and irritated by it. But this year, we're probably looking at 450, 500,000 RVs being sold. As much as we'd love to sell 500,000, we can't. We don't have the infrastructure to sell 5,000. So we feel very important to educate people how to safely buy an RV because we can't take care of everyone. Would we love everyone's business? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But we can't take care of everyone, so we want to give you some tips on how to safely buy an RV, protect yourself, protect your family, and hopefully you'll learn quite a bit today. And feel free to ask questions. Please ask a ton of questions.
Yeah, but if you're giving away secrets like this, doesn't that mean you as a dealership are leaving money on the table?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, and I've always tried to explain to people because they've asked me that. Like, for example, one of our tips we're going to get to is try to sell your own used unit and deal. Oh man, who do we get hate mail from dealers?
They don't like that.
Don't tell people that. That's a huge profit margin for us. No, I understand, but you know what? We do well. We don't need to make all the money, and this should be a relationship, right? Right. And in a relationship, it's not all one sided. If it is, it's a pretty short relationship. I have some friends that have learned that the hard way, but we need to take care of each other, right? And we don't need to make a fortune off every deal. We've always believed in volume, but the biggest thing is for it to be a relationship, both people have to benefit. So that's what these tips are. And people, first time we did one of these, it was so funny because one lady said, "I'm going to call you right now and see if you do all this stuff." Well, please do. We do it every day.
Yeah.
But there's so much distrust in the buying process, especially in the RV industry,
right,
that I think people are so shocked we do this. But it works, guys. What we're about to teach you works. And again, if you want to buy from us, we'd love it. But that isn't why we do this, because again, we cannot sell to 500,000 people.
Right. Now, before we get into it, I got Anita asking if they'll get a copy of the slides. The slides I have are basically just generic kind of, this is what we're talking about, hidden fees. And it just says hidden fees here. I'll even show you one. Is there something like when we're done, is there someplace they can go to get a summary of everything that's said today? I mean, can they go to RV Wholesalers and
Josh, do we post this on YouTube? How can they get a copy of this?
It's going to be emailed to them at the end of it.
Oh,
and
cool.
We will also post it on YouTube.
Yeah, so if you couldn't hear Josh, he said it's going to be emailed to all of you at the end of this. We also put on YouTube. And tell your friends and family, send them over to our YouTube channel. It's RV Wholesalers. Send them over there so they can watch it. Or, of course, you can share the version that you get.
Let me show you. Look at this fancy slide. There you go. That's what we're going to be talking about today, how to safely buy an RV. I'm just excited that if you guys can see it, then I did it correctly.
I think he spelled RV wrong.
How many people just looked at RV? Be honest.
I did. I didn't even make the stupid slide. Tim Richardson made the slide, but I had to double check.
Yeah. And guys, forgive us for having a little bit of fun, but in the current state of the state, we all need a good laugh once in a while.
Absolutely. So they're just a quick checklist of what we're going to be talking about today on the screen. And of course, if you have questions, send them in and I will try to get to them. We've got moderators checking to make sure that I don't miss anything. If it goes a while, if you send in a chat and we don't get to it after a few minutes, chat it again. I'll try and get to everything I can. Do we want to get right into it?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's then start with boom, hidden fees. Look at that.
Let's do it. That's one of the worst things in the RV industry, and it's there's a national retailer out there. They have about 120 some stores, and most people know them very well. We don't say their name. It's sort of like if you're a Harry Potter fan in Voldemort, we just don't say the name. It should not be mentioned. But it's very normal. It's a very normal corporate practice for them to charge a $1,400 PDI fee. If you don't know what a PDI is, it's a pre-delivery inspection. We do a PDI here, right? So you check any reputable dealer will check the propane system, make sure there's no leaks, everything's functioning and working. They're going to check the water system again for leaks. They're going to check all the appliances, make sure they're functioning. They're going to check the roof, make sure everything's sealed properly, there's no issues. And then just check the whole coach and clean it, inside and out. What do we charge for our PDI? We don't. But again, this dealership will charge normally a $1,400 fee. Here's the worst part about that. You find out after you've placed your deposit and you're showing up to pick up your RV. That's when they tell you have a $1,400 fee. A lot of dealers are charging this fee. It's not uncommon. It's a very common practice in the RV industry. It's also very common practice to not tell the customer, until you show up to pick up your unit.
Right.
So now you have a dilemma, right? Well, I'm not paying that fee. No way. That wasn't part of our agreement. Okay, well, then you're giving up your deposit? Huh? Well, we have a signed contract. Well, guys, signed contract has to go both ways, right? It's to protect you and them. But the choice that they give retail customers is, do you want to lose your $1,000 deposit or do you want to pay a $1,400 fee? Well, unfortunately, a majority of you pay the fee. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of other hidden fees out there. There's all kinds of fees, transportation fees and marketing fees. I mean, there's so many you can't hardly name them. And the biggest problem is they always come up after you think you've struck your deal and you're done and you've got your final price.
And I'll throw something in here. And when they go to tell you about the fees of, hey, you need to pay for X, you need to pay for Y, they look at you and act like you should have known.
Right.
Right. Hey, you should have known it was going to cost me to get the camper from Indiana to me down in Florida or out in Pennsylvania. You should have known that. Well, of course, we had to clean the camper. You didn't want to take it without the inspection done on it. Well, how am I going to pay the people who did your walkthrough? Of course, there's a walkthrough fee. And then now you as the consumer have to say, well, I guess that is right, or no, that wasn't part of our deal. It's one of the two, and that's why they're hidden.
Right, and they're counting on you feeling ignorant,
right?
And like, oh yeah, shoot, I guess I should have known that. Oh yeah, right. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
so that's the way they handle it. So then the question always comes up: okay, how do we protect ourselves from this? Very, very simple. Get it in writing. Get your price in writing, and then say, what is this the price out the door? When I come to pick this up, this is exactly what you're charging me. There's no other fees or anything.
That's good. If you're taking notes, write that down. That's a good.
Yep. Good. Yeah, that's it. Okay, put that in writing for me. That this is my out the door price, and if it changes $1, I get my deposit back. Mm-hmm. Put that in writing for me. When they won't do it, you need to get up and leave.
Exactly.
Okay. And guys, you forget a lot of times, and I include myself in this because I buy cars and we just bought 3 trucks for the dealership, right? To haul campers with. You're in charge. You're the boss. You're not at someone else's mercy, right?
Right.
If you're not properly taken care of, properly treated, respectfully handled, and if someone will put something in writing for you, you vote with your dollars. Vote by walking out the door, right? You don't have to accept that kind of treatment. Well, yeah, but we really want to camp, and and that's what they're counting on.
Right.
Don't panic. Stay calm. There's always another RV around the corner. Well, maybe not right now. Normally, there's always another RV right around the corner. But, if you accept it, then it tells them that it's okay to do it, and they get more bold, and they become more powerful. And it's funny, people say, well, you use the term powerful. Yeah, I do, because they feed off of it.
Yeah.
They do. And do a quick count. If you had 120 stores and you sold 500 in every store, and you charged every one of those people $1,400, you're talking about millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And we need to stop that practice in the RV industry.
So it's the phrase hidden fees. Hidden is the bad word. Are there fees that when people
There's always fees.
Okay, we need those fees are important.
Yeah.
They're needed.
Well, like in the state of Ohio, we have to charge a dock and title fee.
Right.
Okay, so every dealer is going to have a dock and title fee. I think it's normally $295.
$295 for us. Yep.
Yeah,
but it varies by county too. So.
Right. So it could be a little bit different, but that's a fee that every dealer should have, especially in Ohio.
Okay.
I won't say every state, but normally every state, because you have to get a title done in every state. So there are some fees, but all these other crazy things, no.
Well, and it's not necessarily that fees are bad either. If you know about them, they're good.
It goes back to the word hidden.
Exactly. The hidden is the key concept in that, because if you know about all the fees that are going to be coming, with dock and title or factory freight or dealer prep or whatever they want to charge, it doesn't matter. As long as their bottom dollar is what their bottom dollar says, then at that point you can safely buy it from them if they don't change their dollar. Again, making sure that it's put in writing that if it changes 1 cent off of this, that I get my money back. And as long as that's in writing, then you should be safe with the hidden fee.
Yeah, you're good to go then. And Dave, that's the biggest thing. Again, if everybody listening is, will you put this in writing and guarantee me my deposit back if it changes $1? If they won't do that, just get up and leave, because you can't trust them.
Will that guy right there? Will that guy put it in writing? If he asks,
any day and every day.
So that's just so people know, that's Lane there. That's his contact information. If you want somebody to be honest with you when you call to ask about an RV, Lane.
From this screenshot, I look like the ghost that ate the ghost of Christmas past. Quite terrifying.
Oh, let me see how to get back to that.
The camera adds about 108 pounds.
Well, they say I do a show here in Ohio, so there's times when I've eaten a little better for an extended amount of time, and they say the camera adds 10 pounds. I'm like, yeah, but there are 5 cameras on me.
Yeah. COVID's added about 70 pounds to me, I believe.
It's fun. Eating is a lot of fun.
It really is. It's a wonderful pastime.
Yeah. All right. So let me go back to chat here. I clicked off to put Lane's information up there. If you have any questions right now, please ask us if you have any questions. I mean, you guys are very, very forthright and very honest with your answers. I know that when we've done our live RV shows, which we're doing here on August 26th, will be the next one. You guys are very honest when I'm not afraid to ask you any question. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel
Well, what we like to say to people very simply is, number one, we were raised that way, right? You get caught lying. You better just admit what you did, number one. But number two, I'm not smart enough to remember.
No.
And on a daily basis, I probably, in all seriousness, I probably talk to anywhere from 50 to 70 customers.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to remember what I said to 50, 70 customers. So it's easiest just to be honest.
Right. Well, and when you got, for instance, I work for, I have a team that works for me as well on my side of things. So if I'm never available, you can always get a hold of someone else on my team. But for instance, I right now on my desk have about 60 deals that I'm working with my number 2 working about another 50, my number 3 working about another 30. There's no way that we could keep track of who said what to who without just being truthful and honest about everything that we have to go. And then we don't ever have to worry about, well, did they say that? Or, should I have remembered that? You know what I mean? So that's why we got to be straightforward and shoot people straight, even when it's not, I guess, wanted to hear. It's not the common one to hear. My favorite example is, when you have a elderly couple who comes in and is looking for a bunkhouse for their 17-year-old grandchild who thinks he's going to come camping with them all the time. And unfortunately, that's, when you ask them how many times they come camping with you last year, and they tell you, well, none, but they might come this year.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's just a situation where, look, will I sell you a camper? I mean, absolutely. I'm not going to tell you no. But at the same time, I do want to help direct you into the right path and help you buy the camper that is going to work best for you. I mean, that's what we do here. It's just different.
So I got a question from Kenneth. Wants to know the best time of year to purchase. Is there a best time to purchase?
Yeah, there used to be. It used to be when the model year changed, which now this year's right now.
Right.
That normally is in March or April.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's delayed though, because of, again, our friend Corona.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit delayed. But right now the 21s are coming out, right?
Yeah, 21s have been out, so the 22s
are coming out.
Yeah.
I always forget it's the RV industry. We like to play a year ahead, at least. Sometimes 2. But no, the new models are coming out. So normally this time, again, Kenneth, normally we're talking March, April. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's right now. Normally dealers are trying to dump the previous year's units, and sometimes you can get a deal. The problem is there are no previous year's units right now.
Okay.
So there aren't going to be any, big, the industry calls it gut and rut, right? Drop the price and try to get it off your lot. But normally, this time of year, March, April, whenever the model change is, and again, I understand we're in August, but, be real careful right now, guys, since pricing came up. Be real careful because dealers are really gouging right now hard.
You think that's because of the whole everything we're going through? They're trying to make money.
No doubt.
There's no product out there. Everybody's sold about everything that they have. So when they do get a few in from the factory, they're jacking the price through the sky.
Right.
And we don't raise our prices. We've had like one price raise, seriously, I think in the last 8 years. I mean, now the factories raise them.
Yeah, the factory changes their pricing. Yeah.
But you have to be very careful right now. So people say, okay, well, how do I know I'm getting price gouged? Simple. Go to our website, rvwholesalers.com, find the unit, do a quote, take that price. That's how you keep the dealer honest, okay?
And I'll tell you real quick, you get the quote fast.
Yeah.
I got that on my phone. I did a video of that and typed in like made the RV that I wanted. And before I clicked off, I had the quote on here. It's not like you have to wait for an email, and it's just a quote you get.
Right, or give a DNA sample.
Yeah.
And sticking with what we're talking about, Kathy just asked, why can there be a large thousands of dollars difference for the same unit from different dealers? Hey, here's the excuses we've heard. RV Wholesalers sells factory seconds. Now, there's a little thing called the NTSB in America, National Transportation Safety Board, that doesn't allow seconds. First of all, they're not blue jeans, right? So you don't have to worry about buying factory seconds. The main thing is price gouging. And right now it's worse than we've ever seen. Literally, we've been in business almost 23 years. Mm-hmm. This is the worst we have ever seen it. So again, guys, you vote with your dollars. If you go to a dealer and he's charging, $5, $10, $15, $20, we've seen some now on toy haulers that are $40,000 higher than us. Guys, you're talking about a $70,000 toy hauler that they're trying to make 110 off of, or I'm sorry, 111 off of. And remember, you vote with your dollars. Some people are like, well, I'm going to try to get them down.
Yeah.
With your price. Why? Can you trust them?
Wow.
You want to do business with a guy that's got that kind of markup?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So again, you vote with your dollars. So again, how do you protect yourself? Come get a quote from us. Go shop, okay? If you're one of those folks that does not want to drive to Ohio or have it delivered or whatever, it's cool. Not everybody does. Get our price, go shop, keep yourself safe, okay? But when it's egregious like that, don't even try to deal with them.
Okay.
You know, that's not a trustworthy place. Just get out of Dodge. Go somewhere else.
So real quick, there are a lot of questions coming in that we're trying to be done here. We've been on for 20 minutes trying to be done within an hour. So if we don't get to your question, we still want to answer your questions. So I'm going to put your email up there again.
Yeah, just shoot me an email, and I'll make sure I get to them here before the end of the day, unless I get like 300 emails, and then that's not going to happen. So, but nonetheless, I'll definitely try to get to them before the end of the day here today.
I don't want anybody to think we're ignoring their question. There's just there's a lot coming in, which is good. We want to answer your questions. We just may have to do it through an email. So again,
yes, and if we can transition to trade-in, Dave asked, do you sell new and used? Yeah, we do. And trades would be a great one if we can head that way. Dave, do you mind?
No, let's do it. I hold on, let me do this. Boom.
That trade came in this afternoon. One.
I think that's Dave driving that thing right there, actually.
But look at the guy across the street looking at him. He's very envious.
Yes. The guy in the background are folks watching the webinar today.
Yes.
They would be the guy in the front ground. Front ground? Is that the right foreground? Front ground?
If it wasn't.
That's the guy closest to us.
Yeah. All right.
While we talk, I'm gonna put a poll up there to see who's buying for the first time. See if I can kind of do this, but I'll let you talk about trade-ins while we do that. This is will this be your first time purchasing an RV? Here we go.
Boy, there's a lot of people purchasing for the first time.
For sure.
You know, and I'll shoot down a township road real quick. If this is your first time purchasing, make sure that dealer can safely take care of you service-wise, okay? We're hearing horror stories right now, people waiting 12 weeks to get repairs done. We feel bad when we hit 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we've got a different system that we do that we can try to explain later if we have time, but the service is so important, guys. If you can't use a thing, why buy it? You know, so, you know, really pay attention to that. But let's jump to trade-ins. I tell people, Lane, that once they're done negotiating their entire deal, right, their price, then say I have a trade-in.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, and there's, you know, I've always gone about it, I guess, another way. That way right there, honestly, is one of the safest ways to keep everybody honest.
Right.
Because you can't, you know, influx your numbers here, influx your numbers there, or anything like that. I mean, when it comes to trade-ins for me, and obviously with me being in the industry, I understand that everybody has to earn money different ways. And I'm not against people earning money. You know, that's why everybody's in chasing the American dream, got to feed their families and everything like that. So making money is nothing, you know, to where you should be frustrated that someone's going to make. I just can't have everything made off me. Okay. You know, for people to eat steak every single night because of my deal, I'm not okay with that. All right. Every so often you can throw in some Easy Mac. Okay. My kids love that stuff. But what I do when I go into trade-ins, basically I do my research on what I'm trading in. Let's just say cars, for example. I just actually traded in my wife's car here the other day. She wanted a new one. Long story short, found out what her car was worth, you know, from multiple dealers, got a rough idea of what her car was worth. Then basically once I found out what it was worth, obviously I deducted because I know that dealership has to make money on her car as well. I found out how much they were selling me the car for, what I wanted to buy the car for. And then I figured out, am I paying cash or am I financing? Well, at that point, when I found out if I was cash or financing, if I was cash, I'd have just told them, hey, here's where I need to be out the door. I don't care what you give me for my trade. I don't care what we take for the trade. I don't care what I pay for the car. As long as this is my bottom dollar, I'm okay with it. Okay. Or if we're going financing, I'll go a step further and I'll go ahead and find out what rates, terms, and payments I want to have. And in that situation, again, I need to know what that bottom dollar is first, and then go a step further. But that's how I do things when it comes to trades and things like that. It's a little bit more complicated than just strictly negotiating your deal and then just saying, hey, look, by the way, I have a trade. I need to get a real estimate or a real figure on that. And that's when you're going to see people really show their colors, is because you're going to see people show up and say, hey, look, you were giving me $9,000 for a $5,000 vehicle, camper was. But now you're not going to give that to me. And that's where you see people, I call it, you got juice numbers and you got real trade numbers. And that's where the difference is. If someone's charging $20,000 more for a new camper and they're giving you $3,000 more than what I'm giving you for your camper, Are you really going to go buy from them because I'm giving you less for your trade?
Yeah, the important thing is always go apple for apple, which means look at your bottom line price.
Exactly.
When I talk to people about trades, what I always say is negotiate your best deal with the RV dealer. When you have your best price, you feel you have your best price, you're accepting of it, then tell them you have a trade, right? And they're going to get disgusted with that. That's cool. You want them disgusted. That means that you're doing it the right way for you, not for them. And what you do then is they're going to start negotiating. Here's a key question to ask. Please write this down. Everybody write this down. Seriously, this is so important. Once they give you your trade offer, ask this question. Will you buy my RV if I don't buy yours?
Wow.
So, Dave, you go out and they say, we're going to give you $11,000 for your camper. Okay, great. Will you still buy that from me if I don't buy your new RV for $11,000? When they say no, get up and walk.
Okay.
Again.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, see, if you come here and you say, how much for my trade, and I say $11,000, that means I'm prepared to pay you $11,000 for it, whether you buy my RV or not.
Okay.
I want your trade at $11,000. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
I want your RV at $11,000. So if they say $11,000 and you say, well, will you buy it outright if I don't buy your new one? No. That means they build in so much money in the new one that they're playing a game.
That's all numbers.
Does that make sense? They're just literally playing a game.
That makes total sense. Wow. That's good.
Yeah, if you look at today, what we just said is happening, where dealers are $40,000 more than us. On toy haulers, we saw a motorhome yesterday almost $50,000 more. Same exact coach, same everything. Crazy, right? Well, if you take your trade there, say I offer you 10 for it, they'll offer you 20.
Yeah.
You're thinking, wow,
No,
that's a deal. Well, you're paying them $50,000 more,
right?
So they're still making $40,000 more on you. So again, we always say to those customers, hey, this guy's offered me 20. Call him, ask him if he'll buy it from you. Mm-hmm. If he will, sell him your trade
and come buy it from
come
me.
here and buy our new one.
Good. That's awesome.
You're getting the best of both deals. But I want to tell you, on trades, the best thing you can do is sell it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard you say that.
And the reason is you're making all the money. And it's so the market, and again, here comes my hate mail. The market is so hot right now. People are selling used units. We don't even get them. I'm not kidding you. We get them in on trade, and they're sold before we even get to pull them around, clean them up, and list them. So please sell it yourself. It'll be quick and easy. Just don't fall for the little games like, I'm going to send you a check for $22,000. You wanted 15, and you just write me a check for that $7,000. No, don't do that. That's a scam. Okay, don't do that. But sell it yourself. Be careful on Craigslist. RV Trader's a great place. Your local, most towns have like a local classified type thing. That's a great place. Facebook's a good one. If you're again, be safe. If someone's offering you thousands more and wants a check, don't sell to them. That's a very common scam. But again, the best thing you can do is sell it yourself. The second thing to do to see if you've truly got a good offer on your unit is, will you buy it if I don't buy yours? If the answer is no, get up and walk out. Remember, you're the boss. You're in charge. You vote with your dollars, okay? Really, that's it. Don't say I have a trade until you've negotiated your price, right?
Uh-huh.
Sell it yourself first.
Right.
Once you've negotiated your price, then tell them you have a trade. And then this is so important. Will you buy my RV if I don't buy yours?
Okay.
Well, and I'll kind of add to the whole trades thing. When it comes to the campers right now, most of them are on order. Okay. Most of the campers that we are having to buy, you have to custom build from the factory because there's a shortage everywhere. I mean, there's no way getting around it. You've been looking for 5 minutes, that you're not going to find one at your local dealer. You're not going to find one across the nation. You just need to order it, right?
Right.
Well, basically what I have a lot of my customers doing right now is they're putting deposits on their campers, ordering their campers, and then basically waiting until that build time happens. Now, once the build time's done, in that meantime, if they have a trade, they've got, whatever the build time is, anywhere between 8 to 6 to, even up to 12 weeks on some situations in terms of how long that build time might be. But you have time to sell your camper. Okay. I have some people that will say, well, I want to sell it first before I, give you your deposit. So you're telling me you want to wait 2 weeks and then be 2 weeks farther back, 2 weeks farther into winter, 2 weeks more. Everything just compounds itself if you want to continue to wait, and that's fine if you do. If you're not comfortable doing that, then don't. But at the same time, I definitely don't want to see someone miss out on another 2 weeks of camping when we're already having to order the camper.
Yeah, a couple of people have asked Dave, is there a good place to find the value of my RV? Yeah, go to NADA.com. It's going to be NADA. Okay. N is in Nick, and then Apple, David Apple.com. The price will be a little bit high, guys. Okay, it's a little high, but it shouldn't be more than maybe $1,200 high. Worst case, usually $400 to $1,200 high. Okay. But if you go there, it'll tell you the value of your unit. Okay. Bobby asked that question, and Anita asked that question. Then someone asked, should I wait for the local RV show, better show deals? That is the biggest.
Is it a ripoff?
Yeah,
it's a hoax.
I almost used an improper word. RV shows get me so fired up because what they and that's a whole nother webinar, so watch for that one, okay? But what they do is they all go in cahoots together. All the dealers at the show, they all come up with fees to charge. They all come up with they should be illegal. It's price fixing. It's crazy. Forgive me. Here goes my hate mail again. I'm going to get calls now from industry. People tell me you can't say that stuff. Well, it's the truth, so I'm going to say it. But Dave, do not wait for a local RV show. First of all, we're not going to have any.
Right.
Corona shut that.
Good time to plug next August 26th. This August 26th.
Yeah, the virtual
RV show. Yeah. Another great question was, can I get a better deal without a trade-in? Only if the dealer's dishonest.
Okay. So we've talked about these trade-ins, and that from our poll looks like maybe 38% of our people watching may have a trade-in because it's not their first RV.
Right.
We got a really good question from Pat, who says he's never owned an RV. So the other 61%, what's the best way of knowing if it's for them? I feel like that's a really good question.
Yeah, it is. A real good way to figure out is to rent.
Okay.
That's a great way to find out. Rent one for a weekend. Try it out, see if you like it. I don't know how you wouldn't like camping.
The little bit of camping I've done since I've started with hanging out with you guys has been a blast. My wife loved it. It's a fun time.
Well, we're just waiting for you to buy yours. You keep saying you're gonna buy it next week, and
I know.
You're one of those tire kickers everybody talks about.
I gotta make the move.
But on a real note, how I tell people, how I let people know of, hey, is this the right camper for you? Is just talking. Okay, honestly, if you call in and just out of curiosity say, hey, what am I missing? I have people ask me that all the time, because they find out when talking to me for about 10 minutes, they're like, oh, he's going to be straightforward and he's going to tell me what I'm missing or what I should ask or what I shouldn't ask. And almost on every single deal that I do, they ask me, what am I missing? What else is there that I need to know about? Or what else is there? And most of the time I can tell them nothing because I usually tell everything that I can. But when, if you're talking to someone and they can be brutally honest with you, they can honestly probably put you in a camper that's going to work best for you. Obviously, with your permission, barring one or two things that might be a little bit different that is not understood on the transaction.
Well, and to explain that a little bit more, we've been doing this a very long time.
Yeah.
So, we can tell you based on how many kids you have or, do you have another couple that camps with you? That's more and more common now.
Mm-hmm.
But, we can figure out what do you like? Are you going off-road? Are you staying in campgrounds? Things like that. And we can get you set up pretty well. And again, if you're just not sure about camping, rent one. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to love it. It's amazing.
Well, you never walked up to a campsite and asked somebody, hey, are you having a terrible time as you're sitting there with your kids, got s'mores all over their face and, adult beverages and all that kind of stuff. You never see that.
It's an amazing bonding thing for families too. It really is. It's pretty incredible.
So we are not to cut you off there. We're about halfway through what we want to do here. So I just want to remind people, my name's David McCreary. I'm hanging out with David and Lane from RV Wholesalers, letting folks know exactly how to buy safely an RV. And we talked, when I talked to Tim about getting this ready, we mentioned doing a giveaway. And I hadn't talked to you yet, David, before we went on about doing like a $500 delivery voucher. Is that something we're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. How many do you want to do? We've got 86 people watching right now.
Well, let's do this. Whoever tells us that they're interested, we'll do one for them.
Okay. Awesome.
we can do for one, I guess we can do for all. And Dave, while you're doing that, let's transition to extended warranties, because there's a question that popped up, and if I don't answer it pretty quick, I'm probably going to come unglued.
Okay. You talk. I'm going to find the slide for that.
Yeah. The question was asked, what about Good Sam's extended warranties? We mentioned the parent company earlier that charges the hidden $1,400 PDI fee, but my best advice is run. If you're in the shape I'm in, run until you collapse and then crawl. But get as far away from it as you can. Now, there's some people that are going to say, "Oh, I've had a great experience with Good Sam's." Don't. Just don't. That's the kindest, easiest way that I can put it. And then people say, "Well, would you buy an extended warranty?" You know, it's really funny. I never did till we started doing this. Mm-hmm. Never did. We started doing this, and I started learning about extended warranties because customers would ask, right, "Do you guys offer extended warranties?" I'm talking 20 years ago. We'd be like, "No, we don't. You know, I don't believe in them, so I'm not going to sell them." It's that simple. Then we learned something. We learned two terms, and the terms are exclusionary and stated, right? Mm-hmm. And we found out that these things are normally backed by insurance companies, and insurance companies have ratings. For example, an A+ insurance company is one you want to do business with. A B, you don't want to do business with. A C, a D, oh my gosh, no way do you want to do business with them, okay? So we put some things together, and we figured out that there's two types of coverage. Exclusionary is really good, all right? Stated is really bad. Not to say there's never a case for stated. If you have an older used unit, you might want to just protect a couple things, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't want to spend a fortune on it because it's an older unit. But stated coverage on a new unit is like literally dumping water in a bottomless pit, hoping you're going to fill it. It makes no sense at all. And what stated is the contract literally tells you what it covers. The problem is it's such few things, it's not worth your money. Okay, it's terribly not worth your money. Exclusionary covers everything but the few things that it lists. So exclusionary is very wide. It covers most of the RV. Okay. Stated covers very, very few things. The problem is, again, we're going to go to dishonest dealers, not all dealers. Most dishonest dealers are price gouging on stated extended warranties. People get them, guess what? They don't cover anything, right? Every time you call in, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's not covered. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not covered. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not." So it you know, again, bad people give things a bad name, right? Bad dealers sell bad extended warranties, and it gives extended warranties bad names. If you buy an exclusionary extended warranty, especially on a new unit or a newer unit, you should never pay more than 10%. So it should be 10% or less of your purchase price, okay? And it should be exclusionary, and you should look up the company, the parent company, and see what their rating is. Okay, if they've got an AA+, they're good. Anything below that, run.
Okay.
Don't do business with them. Here's the other thing. Ask the dealer this: who's my advocate? And don't say another word. You'll get, "What do you mean? Who fights for me?" Well, you call them on your own. Wrong answer.
Oh, wow.
We literally have what we like to call our advocacy department here. If you come in here and get service work done and you're using your extended warranty, you'll never talk to them. We handle it. But we're going to fight with them. They're going to cover what they should cover.
Right.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wiggle room. They're going to do what they said they're going to do. If they don't, we don't do business with them anymore. Right?
You're talking the manufacturer, right?
Well, no, now we're talking extended warranty, so it's the people that are selling it, the insurance company.
I gotcha. Okay.
You know, if you don't come back to us, but you're using your extended warranty, we'll still get on the phone with you with the extended warranty company. They're going to pay the bill they should pay.
Right.
Okay. Now, we're not, you know, and this is the simplest way I can put it. We're not going to help you commit insurance fraud.
No.
You know, someone has their awning out and a storm comes through and fills it full of water and it snaps in half. And they're like, "Can you run that through my extended warranty?" No, we cannot. You know, and again, honest is honest, right? If we're honest, we got to be honest in every area of the business, not pick and choose. So again, if you can get an exclusionary extended warranty and the parent company has an A or A plus rating and you pay 10% or less of your purchase price, that's good. You don't want stated coverage for any cost, period, ever. You shouldn't pay more than 10% of your purchase price, ever, okay? Those are just the keys to extended warranties, okay? And again, the one that was mentioned that has the parent company of the company that's not to be named, just stay away from it. Please stay away from it, okay?
Well, now I can add something too to this. With when it comes to warranties and things like that, I was always born and raised that if ever offered, you just don't buy them. You just can't. They're not worth the paper they're written on, and there's no such thing as good coverage. After working here for a little bit, you realize, holy crap, there is a difference, and like we've been talking about between exclusionary and stated coverage. And most car dealerships are going to sell you stated coverage. Because that's where most people get that bad name from, warranties or extended coverage.
They make a fortune.
Oh, yeah. And they'll tell you, they'll just outright tell you, look, it'll cover this, this, and this, and it doesn't cover this, this, and this.
Well, yeah.
It runs into a problem.
It comes down to a relationship, right?
Exactly.
You want a relationship with the customer, you don't.
Exactly.
There's two types of dealerships. There's ones that want to hit the home run. They don't really care if you ever come back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. They did great. They made great money on the RV. They made great money on a bad extended warranty. They know you won't be back. They don't care.
Right.
There's a lot of arrogance there. Or there's dealerships that want a relationship. We want a relationship. We're studying all of our marketing right now. My gosh, our repeat and referral business is unbelievable. It's through the roof.
Well, I can tell you right here personally, I've sold one, a specific camper out in California. There's a family out there, and just for privacy purposes, obviously can't say who they are, but there's a family out in California that their mom bought one. Her sister bought one. The daughter bought one. Her brother bought one. And so that's how it expands, is that now what would have taken me maybe 2 or 3 days to get 5 deals all happened within a matter of hours because of the fact that the one had a great experience, and then boom, 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 boom. And it makes it a whole lot easier when you can call someone and say, hey, I know I trust you because so-and-so trusts you.
Yeah.
Now I can actually talk to you straightforward.
It's called peace of mind.
Exactly.
It's a wonderful thing. You don't have to worry you're being taken advantage of, or, oh my gosh, I got to check everything on this contract. And, when you know someone that's bought from someone that went well, you're in good shape. I want to answer Linda's question real quick. Recommended age for used Class C, over 10 years old, mileage per year. I always say to be really safe, under 10,000 miles a year, okay, on a Class C. But drive the thing, Linda. Check the tires. If the tires are bad, check the roof. If they haven't sealed the roof, then they haven't taken care of the thing. You don't want it. Doesn't really matter how old it is. Check the tires, check the roof. That's 2 areas where you can tell if someone's taking care of a vehicle. Even a used camper is a good one. But used Class C is awesome, man. They're very hot. They're hard to get. They really are.
Yeah, we probably haven't had one hit our dealership in quite some time now.
No, they sell so quick, it's crazy.
And we'll kind of cycle back to the warranties. I was saying, I don't necessarily buy extended warranties on most of my stuff, and I've always just been taught that way. But the one thing I will do is I will buy a good warranty on things I know are going to break. Okay. For example, I got a wife, 2 kids. My boys like spraying each other with hoses and jumping in mud puddles, and my wife likes to change 4 times a day. So that being said, my washer is constantly running nonstop. All right, so I have to have an extended warranty on it because I know it's going to break. Okay, it gets an abnormal use of that washer and dryer. All right, so I got one on that. Now also I have one on my camper. Okay, and the reason I say that is not necessarily because of labor. Because I know guys here that can do labor for me, work on the camper and help me work on the camper, stuff like that. But it's mostly parts. Okay. Parts are stupid expensive. The air conditioner, a 13.5 AC is like $1,200. The gas electric refrigerator, $2,800. And then you have the hot water heater, furnace, cooktop range. All of this stuff starts adding up, and you have one problem with any of it, and you just paid for your exclusionary coverage. But the thing is that the manufacturers, these good manufacturers out there, they don't make the air conditioners, the cooktop range, the water heater, the things that break. All right. Those guys basically just produce the structure of it, and then they get the rest of it from China. The same air conditioner that's in our $100,000 fifth wheels out here is the exact same air conditioner that's down in our $15,000 ones, because there is literally no difference in what ACs they can use. They all use the same stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I can tell you, at least on that kind of stuff.
This last one, guys, is a big one.
We're getting into financing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is probably one you've never heard unless you've seen our webinar, because people do not allow this information out. I'm telling you, this is a big one. First of all, of course, you're going to check your finance documents, make sure that, the price is actually the price, that all that stuff's on there, that all the numbers are right. Don't be in a hurry to sign. Go through it, make sure, ask questions like, is there a prepayment, a prepayoff penalty, things like that. Most banks are 1 year, okay? And people wonder, why do I have to wait a year? We're going to tell you why you have to wait a year, okay? If you do what we're about to tell you, you won't mind waiting 1 year. If you don't do what we're about to tell you, then you'll wonder why you're waiting a year. So just remember this. And we found this out by accident. Years ago, we weren't offering and again, I'm talking 15, 20 years ago. We weren't offering financing here. We started to, because customers kept showing up with letters of credit from banks, right? So it's a letter that your bank gives you that says, when we get the title with us as the lien holder, then we'll pay the dealership. Problem is, our bank wouldn't allow us to accept those letters. So long story short, we started offering financing so we could get people their loan, and we wouldn't have that little issue, right? That would take care of it. And a crazy thing happened. We get a check in the mail. Now, I like checks, right? But I was a little bit startled because it was from a bank, and it was quite a bit of money. It had all these customers' names on it. And we called the bank, right? Hey, you sent us a check. I don't know if you meant to send, these refunds or something to the customer, but, why do we get this check? Oh, that's your participation. Do what?
Wow.
Yeah. If every time you do a loan through our bank for one of your customers, we send you money. I would do that. I've bought in cars and houses and all kinds of stuff, right? No one ever gave me money. So we started checking it out. The average minimum is going to be 2% of the purchase price. Well, we were shocked. Mm-hmm. Then we did something really crazy and I'm not joking when I say we get hate mail. We got death threats over this one. Literally death threats from other dealers. We started giving that money to our customers. People are like, why'd you do that? So they'd finance with us, so we wouldn't have any hiccups when they pick up, right? We know when you get here, you're going to get your RV, everything's going to work out, everything's going to be great. And guess what? We didn't start doing it for the money. We didn't know the money existed. We did it to help our customers be able to finance and not have to leave without a trailer, right? So we called our finance discount today. And it's funny, we've had a couple of dealers actually try to make that a negative. Oh, RV Wholesalers makes you finance. No, we don't make you finance. No, but if you finance through us, we give you the money that the bank gives us.
Yeah.
And, a great example is we had a customer one time said, well, I want to use a national bank. I won't give their name, just their initials, US. But they wanted to use them, right? They had a local branch. They knew the people. They went and did the credit app there. They were going to charge them 1% more interest than we were going to charge them. The bank gives us the interest at a lower rate than they do the retail customer if they go direct. And we gave them the participation. The bank wouldn't. The bank stand there and act like they don't know what you're talking about. So can I get the money you were going to give the ooh, it's hot in here. I'll be right back. And they run out and they're asking, so what do we say? They're asking for the participation. Okay, if you don't buy from us, here's how you make that work for you. You've already negotiated your price. You've already got your trade, right? If you didn't sell it yourself, which remember, sell it yourself. But you don't want to mess with it. Okay, then you got your price. You got your trade worked in. Now you're sitting there happy and you say, okay, I'm going to use your bank. Now, how much of that money are you going to give me? Ooh, that does not always turn out well. But then say, I expect at least 2%. And be quiet.
Uh-huh.
And you're not signing until they give you 2%. I just did it with my wife's minivan that we just bought. The dealer was not happy. First, they tried to deny it. And I said, well, that's interesting because we actually have the same bank reps for 3 banks. And I know you get the same thing we get. So I want to use one of those banks, and I would like, and I gave them the percent. I did get a little more than 2%. But, again, well, first it's a denial, then it's, I don't know anything about that. Then it's, I can check on it, but I've never heard of that. Then it's, well, there might be something, but we don't share that. Now, I understand you don't, but you're going to with me.
Yeah.
And, guys, if you do those 3 things, right? I need my price in writing, out the door. If you change it $1, I get my deposit back. Sell your trade or wait until you've negotiated your price to present that you have a trade. Ask for part of the participation from the bank. Okay. Now, if you come in here and say, I want to pay cash, great. But we don't have the money from the bank to give you because we're not going to a bank.
Yeah.
Right. If you come in here and say, I want to use my own bank or my own credit union, great. But again, we won't have the money to give you because the bank's not giving us any money. Makes sense?
Yeah.
People are like, well, I really like my credit union. My brother-in-law works there. Well, ask your brother-in-law why he's not giving you participation. Right? Because they should be.
So let me ask this might be a dumb question.
Probably.
Most likely. I've trained you guys well to expect dumb questions from me. Let's say they get $1,000. Will they get a check for that, or do you take that off of the total of their?
Yeah, we take it off. We take it off the total of the RV, then they don't have to pay tax on it.
Okay.
So it saves them money. And Doris just asked, is there a difference in purchase price between financing or paying cash? Yeah, here there is, because again, we give you the money that the bank gives us.
Yeah, and there, and there's 2 different ways that, when I'm talking to customers and explaining the discount, basically, like David just said, either you can have the bank pay for part of your trailer, or you don't have to. I mean, it's a complete a choice that you guys get to make.
Well,
it's not up to us.
Guys, the banks have always won.
Exactly.
Who's ever beaten a bank? Seriously, I don't know one person that's beaten a bank. The bank always wins, and now we get to win.
Yeah. Now, if someone wants to come in and they are a cash buyer, on a true cash buyer, they have $20,000 cash in hand and they want to buy that unit. What I tell these customers to do is, honestly, I would love to take your money, but I want to, instead of paying me $20,000, let's go $17,000. Okay. If the discount was $3,000 or whatever it could be. Right. And basically what they'll do is they will put 10% down on the front end of the loan. And on the very first payment, they will put a large sum of money down on that very first payment. Okay. When I say a large sum amount of money, I'm talking about probably 85% of the loan. Okay. But as long as you can keep your minimum monthly payment open for 1 year. So if it was $100, you keep $1,200 on there. As long as you can keep the minimum monthly payment open for 1 year, then at that point, you can basically pay it off at the end of 1 year and pay about $150 to $200 in interest. But I'm giving you $2,000 off, $3,000 off. And on some of our fifth wheels, $10,000 off.
And let me say what he just said, just say it more directly. If I said, you give me $200 and I'll give you $2,000. Sure.
Yeah.
So you wanted to pay cash. I'm telling you, you're going to pay $200 in interest, but I'm going to give you $2,000 off the cost of the unit. And guys, again, there's no trick here. The trick is, if you finance, you get paid. So why not finance for 1 year, put the money in your pocket, and make an intelligent decision? Put your $20,000 cash in a 1 year CD or a 6 month CD. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And make some interest on it. It's a no brainer. Plus, then your purchase price is lower, so you pay less tax. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, and again, people say, well, why do you do that? Why wouldn't I do that? I want to treat customers the way I want to be treated. I want this to be as affordable as it can be. If it's affordable, if we're honest with you, if we help you save money, you're going to come back.
And I've learned that these RVs, for folks out there thinking about buying their first RV, you guys make it very affordable.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I was shocked with how affordable these are.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the industry think we make them too affordable.
Yeah.
But hey, we're doing great. I've got one kid through college, and another one getting ready to go. Now they go to Ohio State lineman, which is nice and cheap for old dad.
Yeah.
So we're making it happen.
So we are about to wrap up. Again, we've got a lot of questions. Real quick, Mike has sent this in twice. Let's do this one.
Yeah.
Listener, first time buyer. The travel trailer I'm looking at is 7,000 pounds dry weight. What towing capacity do you recommend in this truck? I know a lot of times I've heard you say that if you call your dealer or the manufacturer, you can ask them about the towing capacity for their vehicle. But what would you suggest on the 7,000?
Well, you need first of all, Mike, make sure it's not GVWR, because that's the gross vehicle weight. That means if you took that travel trailer and had the fresh water full, the black water, the gray water, and all your crap in it, that's the most it could weigh. Okay. Well, you never have fresh water, gray water, black water full, because if you are hauling water, which most people don't, but if you are hauling water, once your gray and your black's full, your fresh is empty. Okay, because you just used it.
Yeah.
You just turned it into gray and black. So make sure that's not GVWR, okay? If that's truly the dry weight, I always say add 1,000 pounds.
Absolutely.
And you should be safe, because it's hard to put 1,000 pounds in there.
And you won't. You just won't. And here's the thing, too, is that I'm a big truck guy, okay? I drive a pretty large truck, and then on the backside, I got a real small one that I used to get around town with. All right. So, but big into trucks, big into tow capacities, big into making sure people are safe with any vehicle they're driving. Okay. And what I can tell people is that, listen, first and foremost, the weight that your vehicle says it can pull, it's buffed, it's buffered. All right. Your vehicle can pull more than what it's telling you. You shouldn't pull it more than what it's telling you, though. Make sure you stay at where it's telling you. Now, on top of that, we basically take an extra precaution that says, hey, listen, 1,000 pounds under the buffered given tow capacity is where we want to be at. Okay. So if that camper was 7,000 pounds and you came in with a $7,500 or 7,500 pound tow capacity, I would not sell you that camper because it's not within that 1,000 pounds. Okay. I can't honestly go home and say, man, I did good today. Okay. I can't look my wife in the eyes and say, hey, I know that guy's transmission is going to blow 10 miles down the road. I can't do that. So for a tow vehicle for that one, at least 8,000 pounds tow capacity. Most of your half-ton towables are going to have that, but just make sure that it's going to be the correct gear ratio and things like that. So as long as it's everything like that, most half-ton towables are going to be anywhere between 9,000 and 11,000 pounds. So
yeah, and again, keep yourself 1,000 pounds for cargo and water. But again, make sure you don't need GVWR plus 1,000. You'll never hit GVWR.
No.
People are terrified of that number. You're never going to hit it. It's impossible. Okay. You'd have to stack stuff in there from floor to ceiling.
Well, you'd have to stack stuff from floor to ceiling. You literally, from your fresh water, dumps into your gray and black. So now your gray and black are half full, fresh is empty. Now you have to go drive to the fill-up station. While you're at the fill-up station, by the way, your fill-up station is the dump station. Instead of dumping while you're there, you just put more water in, go use the water, and then do it a third time to fill up that fresh water one more time. That's why we say, listen, GVWR is a very hard thing to get to, and honestly, it takes pure ignorance to get to it.
It's meant to protect the
manufacturer. It's got to protect the manufacturer.
Trailer. And so, Lori, that answers your question. If you have an SUV with 5,000 towing capacity, you're looking for a 4,000 pound dry weight unit. And I'm not crying. I should say I am crying because our time's coming to an end. I'm having an allergy attack. But
so let's recap real fast. This will be sent out to everybody watching. Again, apologize for not being able to get to nearly close to all of the questions that came in, but I'll put Lane's information up there again. And then, of course, you just go to rvwholesalers.com to get a lot of these questions answered.
And call us. We'll take your call. One quick one to answer, Dave. We've had several people ask where we're located.
Yep.
We're in Lakeview, Ohio. That's West Central Ohio, and we're just now opening our second location in Dodge City, Texas.
Awesome.
So that'll be the second RV Wholesalers. You'll see a lot of people using our name. If they're not in Lakeview, Ohio, or Dodge City, Texas, they're a fake.
Okay.
We have a lot of people that want to copy our name, but not our pricing, and never our service.
Never
our service. It's too expensive. They don't want any part of it.
Okay.
So again, if we're not in Lakeview, Ohio, or we're not in Dodge City, Texas, that's not us. That's someone that wishes they were us, except in pricing and service.
All right.
Makes sense.
Well, perfect. The one other thing is that if you're interested in buying an RV, David has said that you get hold of them. They've got a $500 voucher for you, delivery voucher. We want to get you your RV. We're going to do this again next Thursday. I'm not sure what the topic is yet, but we're going to do another webinar next Thursday. And on August 26th, we've got our next virtual RV show, which are always huge successes and a lot of fun for folks.
Yeah, and Mike asked, when are we restocking our inventory? Every day. We have stuff coming in every day,
Daily.
Mike. And this will be the last thing to help you understand, but we get taken care of very well by the manufacturers because we take care of the manufacturers very well. Let me explain that. We bought huge last fall. We bought all through the winter. When Corona invited itself into our lives, a lot of RV dealers canceled units because they were freaking out that no one was going to buy. We not only bought our stuff and kept our stuff, took our stuff, we bought a lot of their stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So then we placed 2 big orders because we saw what was going to happen. So we placed 2 very large orders of inventory, and we've got tons of stuff coming in, guys. So we're not out of inventory. If it's not here, it's coming soon.
I'm still here, guys. I'm moving to a different room so I can plug in. I'd hate to get right to the end of it, and I just didn't want you to get motion sickness from me running through my house with my screen.
No worries. And guys, again, if you didn't get your question answered, we apologize. But give us a call Lane, send us an email. We're all here to help you. And Dave, thank you for doing this. We appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me hang out. Like I said, next Thursday I'll meet you guys right back here, and we'll talk some more.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
we'll
it.
see y'all. Take care.